myself set up. Ooh. Oh my god. Okay. I swear, the universe does not want me to film this video. iPhone storage apparently was almost full, so I had to stop and do that, and I'd already filmed quite a large chunk of this video. Okay. I think glasses are gonna have to be off. Hopefully I'm in focus. If not, this video is gonna be for naught. Hey everybody, Sierra Media Gal here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the ultimate Harry Potter tag. I'm not sure if it's actually the most ultimate Harry Potter tag out there, but I was searching the internet and this was one of the first ones that popped up, so I have no idea if it's fairly recent, if it's an old tag, but in any case, we're gonna have fun today and do this tag. I did actually already film this video, but I don't know, just the quality of it and maybe the lighting too, just all the factors did not come together, so I'm refilming it today. Yeah, so hopefully I'm in focus and hopefully you can see me and hear me okay. If you are new here, hello and welcome. My name is Sierra Media Gal, also known as Andrea in the fandom and fanfiction world. I would love to have you as a subscriber. I'm a big Harry Potter fan and I do a lot of Harry Potter related content on this channel, so if that interests you at all, be sure to click the subscribe button down below. And also be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you would please, it really supports my channel. If you would like to participate, feel free to down in the comments below. Let's jump right in. Since I'm filming on my phone here, I've got my tablet with me. And I gotta get really up close and personal because I don't have my glasses on and I refuse to put my contacts in today. You're just gonna have to deal with my nose being pressed to the screen. Hopefully it won't be too distracting. First question of the tag is favorite book. I did do a YouTube video last summer ranking the Harry Potter books from least favorite to favorite. If you would like to watch that video, I will leave a link to it down in the description. My answer hasn't changed. It's still Prisoner of Azkaban. I always remember my initial read of that book just being such a breeze. I mean, I feel like I read it in probably like a day or two. I love the plot. It's really fast-paced and engaging from first page to the last. I love all the Harry Potter books, don't get me wrong, but some of them do read a little bit slower to me than others. Prisoner of Azkaban does not. I just love it from beginning to end. Least favorite book? I love all the Harry Potter books, as I will probably continue to say throughout this. Again, this answer hasn't changed. It's still Chamber of Secrets. You know, there's aspects of Chamber of Secrets that I do love. That book always, no matter how many times I reread the series, just reads very, very slow. There's like a huge chunk in there where I kind of just felt like nothing's really happening. I do love like reading about the everyday life at Hogwarts. That is really interesting to me, but I just felt like that book dragged a little bit. Just personal opinion. Favorite movie? I've also done a ranking of the Harry Potter movies from least to favorite. I will also leave a link down to that below. But again, my answer is the same as it was in that video, and that is Deathly Hallows Part 2. There's, you know, so much heartache and grief in the last movie, just as it is in the last book, but I think the acting from everybody involved in the production is stellar and at its best in that last film. But also, the Battle of Hogwarts, I just think is phenomenally filmed. I mean, what, that movie's like 8 or 9 years old now, and I think it's held up amazingly. So, definitely Deathly Hallows Part 2. Least favorite movie, again, it has to coincide with my least favorite book, and that is Chamber of Secrets, which is funny because I think, in particular, the duel between Snape and Lockhart in the film version is like iconic, and it's one of my favorite scenes in all of the Harry Potter films, but this plot line itself is just not my favorite. Favorite quote? Oh my gosh, I probably have like 10 favorite quotes. So, I mean, I can't name one off the top of my head. I will insert something right in this general area with my favorite quote. Favorite Weasley? I've always been partial to the twins. That's kind of cheating. I know most people say Fred is their favorite of the two twins. I love them both equally, but I have to say, as I've gotten older, and I am getting older, that's changed. I would say Arthur's my favorite Weasley now. I have a special place in my heart for Arthur. Thank God J.K. didn't kill him off in book 5. If she had, I would be crushed. Favorite female character? Okay, again, I'm kind of cheating here, but I have to go with Hermione Granger and Luna Lovegood. but for clearly different reasons. I think they're both very empowering for women, particularly young girls. You know, Hermione has the book smarts, she's resourceful, she's academically driven, she's very passionate about books, and I think that's wonderful. But, you know, Luna's like the complete antithesis of Hermione in the sense that she's smart. She's a Ravenclaw, she's very smart in her own right. I think one of the important aspects of Luna is she is unabashedly herself, and I think that's a wonderful inspiration for young girls. She's somebody I wish I could have been more like at that age when, you know, hormones are out of control and there's a lot of peer pressure to fit in, per se, and Luna couldn't give two shits. And I think that's beautiful. Favorite villain, Umbridge. Because if it comes down between Umbridge and Voldemort, I think she tops it. She's terrible, so. I don't think I have to go into too much depth about what makes her so horrible. I think we all get it. Favorite male character? Severus Snape. Shocker, I know. No, I love the complexity of Snape. I think there's a lot of people who fall into two categories when it comes to Snape. You either love him or hate him. I love him, don't get me wrong, but I don't think that he's flawless whatsoever. He's incredibly flawed, but he's also incredibly brave and selfless in many ways. You know, he basically gives up his life for a child that isn't his, and a child of somebody who bullied him for most of his young life. I think that's very commendable, but you know, he's very bitter, he's very snide, he's very mean, he's not a nice guy, and yet he carries a very selfless, deep love. I think that's really beautiful about him. And I know I'm generalizing it so much. I want to make a separate video on Snape and why he's my favorite literary character of all time, because he deserves that. So I'm being very basic here, but that's the main gist without me making this entire video into why I adore Snape. Favorite professor? Again, I gotta go with Snape. He's my favorite professor because he's my favorite character. But I also will say, you know, for the amount of crap that he does give some of the characters, some of the students, he's a very effective teacher. Because if you actually really pay attention in the books, a lot of the spell work that Harry uses to his advantage and that he learns about came from Snape. It proves that he's actually a very effective teacher. So take from that what you will. But, you know, for the sake of giving us another answer, my second favorite professor would definitely be Minerva McGonagall. I think Maggie Smith and Minerva McGonagall, they were born to coexist at the same time so that she could play her. I always associate one with the other at this point because they're both so badass. So she would be a definite close second. Wash Snape's hair or spend a day listening to Lockhart rant about himself. Snape. Easily. I can't stand Lockhart. Oh my gosh, no. I take Snape easily. And it's not just because he's my favorite character either. I'd spend a day with Umbridge probably over listening to Lockhart just praise himself all day long. Maybe that's an exaggeration. Duel an elated Bellatrix or an angry Molly? I would take a Molly any day. Bellatrix is not only insane, she's nasty. I'm sure she would know some dark magic and some dark gruesome spells that I would have no idea how to combat, so I would take an angry Molly any day over Bellatrix. Travel to Hogwarts via Hogwarts Express or flying car? Obviously the Hogwarts Express. You gotta experience that. Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. And I would absolutely want to get a chocolate frog from the trolley. Kiss Voldemort or give Umbridge a bubble bath? Oh, those are both terrible. I guess kiss Voldemort. I mean, he would not be a good kisser, I don't think. So, ride a Hippogriff or ride a Firebolt? Immediate reaction is to say the Firebolt. I would love to think I would play Quidditch and that I would love flying on a broomstick, but I hate heights. So realistically, I would probably be scared to death. So I guess I'd feel a little bit safer on a Hippogriff. Is there a character you felt differently about in the movies versus the books? Oh, that's a good question. I guess Ginny. Not to knock Bonnie White, who plays Ginny in the movies, but I just feel like her personality was completely lost in the movies. She's a wonderful character. Very strong female character too. She's really important. Yeah, I'd have to go with Jenny. Is there a movie you preferred over the books? No. We all have things about the movies that we don't like, or that there's sections of the books that, you know, the movies didn't cover, or certain characters that we would have liked to see more of, things like that. I mean, take the movies for what they are. I do love them, but they'll never compare to the books. The books are 10 times richer about the wizarding world, so I will always choose the books over the movies. Richard Harris or Michael Gambon as Dumbledore? You know, I was really opposed to Gambon at first in the third film, but I've come to really appreciate him again as I've gotten older and as the movies have gotten older. I really do appreciate his Dumbledore. I think he embodies the personality of Dumbledore very well. I think you can tell that he gets that character, the weaknesses and the strengths. He just doesn't physically look like Dumbledore to me, whereas Richard Harris, that was my vision of Dumbledore before I saw the first film. But it is tough to envision Richard Harris doing some of the physical stuff that Dumbledore does in the later films, like, you know, in the Ministry of Magic when Dumbledore confronts Voldemort and they duel. It's hard to picture Richard Harris doing a lot of that kind of really physical stuff. I guess I'd have to go with Richard Harris just because he really physically looks like Dumbledore to me, but that's just a personal thing. I do think Michael Gambon does a wonderful job as Dumbledore, and that's probably not a very popular opinion, but your top thing, person or event, which wasn't included in the movie that annoyed you the most? Yeah, without going on too long of a tangent, I'm going to have to say the lack of Snape, because he ends up being very crucial and very important to Harry's journey, and I felt like we only got really small glimpses of Alan Rickman throughout the series. I mean, he barely is in Half-Blood Prince, and Snape is in the freaking title. He's very, very crucial in that book and in that film, and yet we barely see him. It's not Alan Rickman's fault, but I do also feel like, you know, Snape is a very complex and very layered character, and I feel like we only got to see like one or two aspects of his personality. And I think Alan Rickman could have done so much more if he had been given more screen time, and he wasn't. So I will always be a little bit bitter about that. Not only because he's my favorite character, but he's so crucial in the books. His role in the books is so pivotal. And yet I feel like we were very cruelly denied the entirety of Snape. You know, you only get little pieces, and we should have gotten a lot more. If you could remake any of the Potter movies, which would it be? Honestly, I wouldn't remake any of them. Again, as I've made mention a couple times now, there are certain things in the movies that I don't like, and I probably would have liked to see more of, or seen something less of, or just seen something entirely differently. But, you know, they're iconic at this point. They're such a big part of my childhood that I don't think I would want to change them. Which house was your first gut feeling you'd be a part of? You know, this is interesting. I've taken the Pottermore quiz, I think 3 times over the years. I haven't taken it in a long time, so I'm half tempted to take it again and do a video on it, because I'd be curious to see what house I'd end up in. I've ended up in Slytherin twice and Gryffindor once. As much as I pride myself on being a Slytherin, I've always felt like I'm kind of in the middle between Slytherin and Gryffindor, because there are definitely some Gryffindor characteristics that I share. It totally like makes my day that kind of coincides with my one-true pairing. I feel like I kind of just toe that line between those two houses. But I don't think anybody fully belongs in one house. I think it's safe to say we all have like different aspects that you can take from each of the houses anyway. So, which house were you actually sorted into on Pottermore? Again, Slytherin twice, Gryffindor once. Which class would be your favorite? I know everybody would probably expect me to say potions at this point because, you know, I'm kind of obsessed with that particular subject area.
Wonder why.
Potions is way too close to chemistry, and I sucked at chemistry in high school. It crushes me to say this, but Snape would hate me. I would be the Neville Longbottom of Slytherin in potions class. So my favorite subject, though, I think would be care of magical creatures, because I'm such an animal lover anyway, so I think I would love that subject. Which spell do you think would be the most useful to learn? Accio. Because, I mean, it's not only just very simple, but it's very convenient. Which character do you think you'd instantly become best friends with? My gut instinct is to say Neville Longbottom. You know, at that age, I was very shy. I had my group of friends, but, you know, we weren't popular, but we didn't get picked on either. I think Neville and I would, you know, be able to help each other in certain subjects. He'd be able to help me in herbology. I'd be able to help him a bit in push dance class. We would both be a mess, but, yeah, I think I'd be good friends with Neville Longbottom for sure. If you could own one of the 3 hollows, which would it be? This is probably a very Slytherin answer. The Elder Wand. I definitely wouldn't be looking over my shoulder if I owned the Elder Wand. The most powerful wand in the world, I mean, come on. I certainly wouldn't be boasting about it. Nobody would know that I had the most powerful wand in the world, that's for sure. Is there any aspect of the books you'd want to change? Snape's death. His life was already miserable. I don't understand why Rowling had to kill him off too. I mean, it makes it all the more tragic and romantically haunting, I guess. I wish he could have lived out his life knowing that he wasn't the villain. I really do. I wish he could have seen himself redeemed by the Wizarding World, and I wish he would have lived to do something better with his life. You know, because he was towing the line between Voldemort and Dumbledore for years. He was used by both sides. He dedicated his life to something that was much bigger than himself. It would have been nice to see him get to have a happy ending. You know, maybe he went off and started his own potions business, or, you know, just got to live out his life in peace. Thank God for the realm of fan fiction, because that is where I live and Snape lives. Favorite Marauder. I don't think this is any surprise to anybody. I'm not very partial to any of the Marauders, and that comes also from somebody who was bullied. For the sake of answering the question, I guess I would go with Sirius Black. I think his background and the Black family makes him the most interesting out of the 4 to me. If you could bring one character back to life, which would it be? I don't think I have to go into a long-winded answer about that. Hollows or Horcruxes? Hollows. I would like to keep my soul intact. Thank you very much. Okay guys, that is it. Those are my answers to the ultimate Harry Potter tag. I hope you enjoyed it. Comment down below and let me know some of your answers to these questions. I'd be curious to read them and maybe we can get a discussion going. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. I'd really appreciate that. Be sure to subscribe if you would like to see more of me and see more Harry Potter related content like this. And I will see you guys again next time. Bye. Oh, can I finish this? That would be great if I could. Quick coffee break. My throat is actually parched from talking so much. Oh no, I lost it. You know, Harry Potter. Oh. Really cold. Yuck. Right, we're done. Done, 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 done.